Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and thank you so much for being here. So Libra, let's get started. You've been carrying the weight of believing you need to be flawless to be lovable, and someone is seeing you with eyes that don't require your perfection because they're looking for your truth. And in that truth, complete with all the rough edges and unfinished parts, they're finding everything they've been hoping to find. Let me tell you what I'm sensing about this person and the particular quality of how they see you, because being loved in this way, being witnessed in your full humanity and found beautiful anyway, is one of the most healing experiences available to us, and understanding it helps you recognize it when it's present and receive it without sabotaging it. This person has been watching you in ways you're not fully aware of, noticing the details of who you are beyond the curated version you present to the world. They see the things you try to hide, the insecurities you mask with confidence, the vulnerability you protect with humor, the fear you cover with busyness, the needs you've learned to minimize, to avoid burdening others. And instead of being turned off by those hidden parts, they're drawn to them, because those parts are what make you real, what make you human, what make you someone they can actually know rather than just admire from a distance. They've noticed your flaws in the most literal sense, the ways you can be impatient when you're stressed, the way you shut down when you're overwhelmed instead of asking for help, the way you sometimes say yes when you mean no because you're conflict avoidant, the way you can be stubborn about admitting when you're wrong, the way you deflect compliments because receiving praise makes you uncomfortable, the way you hold grudges longer than you want to, the way you're harder on yourself than you'd ever be on anyone else. And here's what's remarkable: seeing those things hasn't diminished their perception of your value. If anything, it's deepened their appreciation, because perfection is intimidating and untouchable, while imperfection is accessible and real. They're not looking for an idealized version of you that exists only in imagination. They're looking at the actual you, the one who exists in 3 dimensions with contradictions and complications and growing edges, and that actual you is who they're choosing. The word perfect in this context doesn't mean without flaw. It means complete. It means fitting. It means right for them specifically. Your particular combination of strengths and struggles, gifts and limitations, grace and awkwardness is perfect for them, not despite the struggles and limitations and awkwardness, but including all of it. You're a match for them, not because you've achieved some objective standard of excellence, but because who you are resonates with who they are. This person understands something essential that you're still learning, that growth and worthiness aren't the same thing. You can be worthy of love while still having room to grow. You can be lovable while still working on yourself. You can be enough while simultaneously becoming more. And they're not waiting for you to finish evolving before they decide you're worthy of their love. They're offering love now to this version of you, while also supporting the version you're becoming. They're also seeing qualities in you that you don't see in yourself, strengths you've internalized as just normal, or that you've dismissed as not particularly valuable. Your resilience that you think of as just surviving, your kindness that you think of as just basic decency, your wisdom that you think of as just common sense, your creativity that you think of as just how you pass time. They recognize these as gifts, as things that make you special, as reasons you stand out in a world full of people who could be options but who aren't you. What makes their love particularly powerful is that they're not trying to fix you or improve you or mold you into a different version. They're not maintaining a list of ways you need to change before you're acceptable. They're not holding an ideal in their mind that you're failing to live up to. They're accepting you as you are while simultaneously believing in your potential, which is the balance that allows genuine growth to happen naturally rather than through pressure or performance. They see your flaws and understand them as information about your history, about wounds you're carrying, about protection mechanisms you developed to survive, about ways you're still learning. Your difficulty with vulnerability makes sense when they understand what happened when you were vulnerable before. Your tendency to overthink makes sense when they know you've been blindsided by things you didn't see coming. Your guardedness makes sense when they recognize you've been hurt by people you trusted. This person isn't naive about your limitations. They're not in denial or deluded or seeing you through rose-colored glasses that distort reality. They see clearly and they choose clearly. They've made an assessment that includes all available data, and their conclusion is that you, as you actually are worth their investment, their vulnerability, their commitment. That clear-eyed choice is more meaningful than blind infatuation could ever be. What they love specifically includes things you've been trying to change about yourself, things you've judged as wrong or bad or not enough. Maybe you think you're too sensitive and they find your sensitivity beautiful. They appreciate how deeply you feel things. They're drawn to your emotional awareness. Maybe you think you're too intense and they find your passion magnetic. They're energized by your commitment to things that matter. Maybe you think you're too much in various ways and they think you're exactly right. They're also loving you through your rough moments, through the times when your flaws are most visible, when you're not at your best, when you're struggling or stressed or triggered into old patterns. Those moments don't make them question their choice of you. They make them want to support you, to be present, to remind you that you're still worthy of care even when you're not performing worthiness. What's streaming through is that this kind of love is teaching you to see yourself differently, to soften the harsh self-judgment, to extend to yourself some of the compassion and acceptance they're offering you. Being loved for your full self, not just your polished self, creates permission to be authentic, to stop exhausting yourself through constant self-improvement projects, to rest into being rather than always striving to become. They're perfect for you too, though that's not the focus of this message. But it's worth noting that you're not receiving one-way charity, some saint deciding to love flawed you out of generosity. They have their own imperfections, their own struggles, their own growing edges, and you're choosing them, including all of that, creating a dynamic of mutual acceptance, mutual grace, mutual commitment to loving each other as you actually are while supporting each other's growth. What this person wants you to know is that you can relax, you can stop performing, you can let them see the parts you usually hide, you can be honest about what you're feeling and needing and struggling with. You can have bad days and difficult moments and times when you're not your best self. All of that is included in what they're signing up for. All of that is part of what they mean when they say they love you. They want you to stop apologizing for being human. Stop saying sorry for having needs, or for not being available every moment, or for having emotions, or for taking time for yourself. Stop shrinking to make yourself easier to love. Stop editing your personality to be more palatable. They don't want the edited version. They want the real version, mess and magic both included. This person also wants you to receive their compliments without deflecting or minimizing or explaining them away. When they tell you you're beautiful, they mean it. When they tell you you're smart, they mean it. When they tell you they're lucky to have you, they mean it. They're not exaggerating or being polite or trying to make you feel better. They're telling you what they genuinely perceive, and refusing to receive it is actually rejecting their experience of you. They're creating safety for you to be vulnerable, to share the things you normally keep private, to let them into the inner world you usually protect. And that safety is a gift they're offering consciously through their consistent acceptance, through their refusal to weaponize what you share, through their ability to hold your truth without making it about them or requiring you to manage their feelings about your feelings. What seeing your flaws and still thinking you're perfect means practically is that conflicts don't threaten the relationship. Disagreements don't make them question whether they made the right choice. Mistakes don't activate fear that they're going to leave. They understand that two imperfect people in relationship will have friction, will misunderstand each other sometimes, will hurt each other occasionally despite good intentions. And they're committed to working through those moments rather than treating them as evidence that the relationship is wrong. They're also helping you understand love differently than you understood it before. If your previous experiences taught you that love is conditional, that it has to be earned and maintained through perfect behavior, that it can be lost through mistakes or neediness or being too much or not enough, this person is showing you a different model. Love as something stable enough to weather imperfection. Love as something that deepens through challenge rather than being destroyed by it. Love as choice renewed daily rather than feeling that might evaporate. This person isn't waiting for you to become someone else. They chose you, the you who exists right now, the you who's still learning, the you who has bad habits and limiting beliefs and room to grow. They're not dating your potential or your future self. They're loving your present self while trusting that you'll continue evolving, knowing that who you become will still be you, still be the person they chose. What they need from you is your willingness to be known, to let them see you fully, to trust that their love is sturdy enough to hold all of you. They need you to stop hiding the parts you think are unlovable so they can demonstrate that those parts are lovable too. They need your honesty about who you are and what you need so they can actually meet you rather than meeting the performance you're putting on. They see your flaws and they think you're perfect because perfect doesn't mean flawless. Perfect means you're the one. Perfect means they looked at all of you, the light and the shadow, the strengths and the struggles, the grace and the mess, and they said yes, this one, this person, as they are right now. And that yes is one of the most powerful affirmations you'll ever receive if you let yourself truly take it in.